Every so often, a piece of tech comes along that doesn't just innovate, it actually starts a war. In early 2026, that's exactly what happened. We're not talking about a weapon, but an AI video tool called Seedance 2.0. And I mean, in a matter of days, this thing went from a niche tech demo to ground zero in a massive battle between Silicon Valley and Hollywood.
And look, this quote, this wasn't some hot take from a tech blogger. This is from Rhett Reese, the co-writer of Deadpool, a guy at the absolute top of the industry. And he's reacting in real time. His words just perfectly capture that shockwave, that moment of pure panic that hit the creative world when they saw what this new tool could really do.
So, how did this whole showdown even start? Well, back in February 2026, a company called ByteDance quietly put out Seedance 2.0. And almost immediately, the internet was just flooded with these video clips that were shockingly realistic, instantly recognizable, and totally 100% unauthorized.
And the content that just exploded online was wild. We are talking about a gritty, cinematic fight between Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. The cast of Friends, but reimagined as otters. Yes, otters. Will Smith fighting a monster made of spaghetti. And you gotta understand, this wasn't some cheesy face-swapping app. These were complex scenes that looked like they were ripped right out of a blockbuster movie, all generated from just a simple text prompt.
Okay, so what is this technology really, and how did it suddenly get so powerful? Well, the company behind it is ByteDance, who you almost definitely know as the creators of TikTok. And with Seedance 2.0, they didn't just take a step forward in AI video, they took a monumental leap. The crucial thing to get here is that Seedance 2.0 is what's called a multimodal model. Now, that's just a fancy way of saying it doesn't just take text prompts. You can feed it images, audio files, even other video clips to guide its creation. But the real game changer? It generates the video and the audio at the same time. And that means, for the first time, we're seeing AI-generated characters with genuinely believable lip sync. The speed of all this is just staggering. The first version came out in June of 2025. Less than a year later, version 2.0 arrived. And it wasn't just an update, it was a revolution. It just goes to show you how ridiculously fast this technology is evolving. So let's break down what makes this thing so powerful. Beyond all the different inputs and the audio sync, two features really stand out. First, character consistency. You know how older AI videos had characters that would kind of flicker or change from shot to shot? Seedance solved that. And second, cinematic control. This let users act like real directors, telling the virtual camera to zoom, pan, or track a character. This wasn't just generating clips anymore, this was basically virtual filmmaking. So, with a tool this powerful being used to clone their biggest stars and most valuable properties, you can bet Hollywood's reaction was not subtle. The response was immediate, it was unified, and it was absolutely furious. It kicked off a massive legal and public relations war. And we're not talking about small players here. We are talking about the heavy hitters: Disney, Paramount, the Motion Picture Association, the Actors Union, SAG-AFTRA, all of them. They all came out swinging. Cease and desist letters started flying, charging ByteDance with enabling copyright infringement on a truly massive scale. The battle lines were drawn pretty clearly. On one side, you had Hollywood accusing ByteDance of blatant theft. The MPA even argued that copyright infringement was a feature, not a bug. Ouch. On the other side, ByteDance put out these carefully worded statements, saying they respect intellectual property rights and were strengthening safeguards. It was a classic tech versus media standoff. Now, this fight over copyright is huge, right? It was grabbing all the headlines. But buried inside this new technology was a different capability. One that, frankly, has implications that are way more frightening than just stealing a movie character. This is where the story pivots. We're moving away from intellectual property and into personal identity. Because one of Seedance 2.0's features, something they demonstrated in early tests, was so alarming that it got suspended almost immediately after a huge public outcry. Now think about this for a second. This tool could take a single photograph of a person, just a photo, and, without ever hearing their voice, generate a highly accurate audio clone. One tech blogger uploaded his own headshot and was shocked to hear the AI speak back to him in his own voice. All of a sudden, the potential for personalized scams and misinformation wasn't just possible, it was easy. And hey, this isn't some theoretical threat. An engineering firm recently lost $25 million after employees were tricked by a deepfake video call of their executives.
A tool like Seedance's photo-to-voice feature could make creating these sophisticated attacks almost trivial.
So the fallout was swift. ByteDance pulled that voice cloning feature and paused the tool's global launch. But it didn't stop there. This issue went all the way to the U.S. Senate, where Senators Blackburn and Welch sent a letter to ByteDance's CEO demanding the immediate shutdown of the entire platform, calling it a direct threat. So while this whole battle is raging in the West, it is crucial to understand that this is not the story everywhere. The global reaction to this tech has been sharply divided, and it highlights a major cultural split in how this kind of AI is even perceived. In the West, the reaction has largely been one of fear, condemnation, and lawsuits. But in China, the response has been pretty much the complete opposite. There's been general enthusiasm, with their entertainment industries seeing it as a powerful new creative tool, not just a threat. You have prominent directors over there who are already openly experimenting with it. This quote from the acclaimed Chinese director Jia Zhenke just perfectly captures this different worldview. He's already used AI to reimagine scenes from his own films. For him, the technology isn't inherently good or bad, it's just a tool. The only thing that matters is what we, the people, choose to build with it. And that really is the core dilemma here. Seedance 2.0 showed us a future where creating synthetic reality is easy and accessible for anyone. But it also revealed this deep divide. While one part of the world sees a threat that needs to be regulated, another sees a tool to be embraced. As this technology accelerates, the question isn't just who gets to write the rules, it's whose reality will those rules be based on.